My boss fired me after believing my coworker's lie. 3 months later, he walked into my office begging for help. Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do? Lost everything in a single moment, and then watched the very person who destroyed your life come back begging for your help? Most people dream about revenge in a situation like that. I thought I would too. But when that moment finally came, I made a decision that even surprised me. Looking back now, I can honestly say it became the most bizarre, painful, and ultimately beautiful turning point of my life. My name is Clara, and a few years ago, I was living what felt like my dream life in Seattle. I worked as a senior campaign manager at a respected marketing agency, and I genuinely loved what I did. I wasn't someone who counted the hours until Friday. I enjoyed solving problems, building campaigns, and watching ideas turn into successful projects. My coworkers often joked that I practically lived in the office because I was always the first one to arrive and usually the last one to leave. The hard work paid off. My campaigns consistently performed well, clients trusted me, and our boss, Mr. Arthur, frequently praised my work during meetings. Hearing those compliments always motivated me to work even harder. I believed that if you stayed honest, worked hard, and treated people with respect, eventually life would reward you. But I was about to learn that success doesn't only attract opportunities. Sometimes it attracts jealousy. There was one coworker named Sarah. From the day she joined the company, something about her attitude toward me felt different. She was polite enough in front of everyone else, but whenever Mr. Arthur complimented my work, I could almost feel her staring at me across the conference room. At first, I ignored it. I told myself maybe I was imagining things. Then came the announcement everyone had been waiting for. The company was creating a new director position, and everyone knew only one person would get promoted. People whispered about it during lunch breaks. My teammates congratulated me before anything had even been announced because they believed I was the obvious choice. Apparently, Sarah believed that too. Looking back, I realized that was probably the moment she decided to destroy me. Everything changed on a rainy Monday morning. I walked into the office carrying my coffee, greeted a few coworkers, and sat down at my desk like it was any other day. I had barely opened my laptop when my phone rang. Mr. Arthur wants to see you immediately. There was something strange about the receptionist's voice. I knocked on his office door. Come in. The moment I stepped inside, I knew something was terribly wrong. His face was bright red with anger. Before I could even say good morning, he slammed a thick file onto the desk in front of me. What is this, Clara? I looked down in confusion. Inside were printed emails containing confidential financial reports and our biggest client's upcoming marketing strategy. According to the documents, everything had been sent directly to one of our competitors. Then I saw the sender. My official company email. For a few seconds, my brain simply stopped working. I didn't send these. Mr. Arthur didn't even let me finish. Don't lie to me. I swear I have no idea how. The evidence is right here. I tried explaining that I always locked my laptop, except then something hit me. The previous Friday, I had rushed out after receiving a phone call from my mother. I remembered leaving my laptop open on my desk because I planned to return after the weekend to finish a presentation. Suddenly everything made sense. Someone had used my computer. I turned instinctively toward the glass wall of Mr. Arthur's office. Standing outside was Sarah. She wasn't saying anything. She wasn't smiling broadly, but the tiny smirk on her face told me everything I needed to know. She knew. She had done it. Maybe she guessed my password. Maybe she accessed my unlocked computer. Maybe she planned everything from the beginning. I opened my mouth to tell Mr. Arthur my suspicions. He didn't want to hear them. Instead, he pointed toward the door. Pack your things. Please. You're fired. Just like that. Years of loyalty disappeared in less than 5 minutes. Nobody asked for my side of the story. Nobody investigated. Nobody gave me a chance to defend myself. As I packed the family photos from my desk into a cardboard box, I could feel everyone watching. Some looked sympathetic. Others avoided eye contact completely. Sarah simply sat at her desk pretending to work. Outside, Seattle's rain was falling harder than ever. I walked home carrying my box soaked from head to toe, wondering how life could change so completely before lunchtime. That evening I questioned everything. Maybe my career was over. Maybe no company would ever trust me again. Maybe Sarah had actually won. But after a few days of feeling sorry for myself, I made a decision. If someone closed one door, I would spend every ounce of energy finding another. The following weeks were some of the hardest of my life. I updated my resume. I redesigned my portfolio. I attended interviews. Some companies rejected me. Others never replied. Savings slowly disappeared. There were nights when I couldn't sleep because I kept replaying that morning inside Mr. Arthur's office. I imagined all the things I should have said, all the evidence I should have presented, all the ways I could have defended myself. But the past doesn't change because we replay it. Eventually, something incredible happened. One of Seattle's largest technology marketing companies, Nexus Media, contacted me. They weren't interested in the rumors. They were interested in my results. They had spoken with former clients who praised my work. They reviewed my campaigns. They studied my portfolio. Instead of seeing a fired employee, they saw a talented marketer. A week later, they offered me the position of head of marketing. The salary was nearly double what I had been earning. The office overlooked Seattle's skyline. I suddenly had an entire department reporting to me. For the first time in months, I felt like life was giving me another chance. I promised myself I would never waste it. The next 3 months passed quickly. Our campaigns exceeded expectations. New partnerships kept arriving. Revenue increased. Every challenge only made me stronger. Then one ordinary afternoon, my secretary knocked on my office door. "There is someone here requesting a partnership meeting." "Ooh." She handed me the presentation folder. I casually looked at the company name. Arthur and Associates. My heart skipped a beat. My old company. The same company that had thrown me away without asking a single question. Apparently, after losing their biggest client, business had collapsed. Now they needed our help. Life has a strange sense of timing. I took a slow breath. "Please send him in." A few moments later, the door opened. Arthur walked inside. He looked years older. His shoulders were slumped. The confidence he once carried had disappeared. Without looking directly at me, he started introducing himself and explaining why his company would make a valuable partner. Then, he finally looked up. His eyes met mine. He froze. The color drained from his face. The folder nearly slipped from his hands. "Clara." His voice barely came out. I simply smiled. "Please have a seat." For several seconds, he couldn't move. Finally, he sat down in complete silence. Instead of discussing business immediately, he took a deep breath. "I'm so sorry." Those words carried far more weight than I expected. He explained everything. About a month after firing me, the company's IT department uncovered evidence proving Sarah had accessed my workstation. Security logs matched the time. Additional evidence confirmed she had sent the confidential emails herself. She admitted everything. She was fired immediately. Legal action followed, but none of that repaired the damage already done. He confessed that he had spent weeks trying to contact me. By then, I had already moved forward. As I listened, something surprised me. I expected anger. Instead, I felt peace. The pain I once carried had quietly disappeared somewhere along the journey. I looked at him and calmly said, "Mr. Arthur, if you had trusted an employee who had been loyal to you for years, instead of believing one set of documents without asking a single question, your company probably wouldn't be sitting where it is today." He lowered his eyes. He knew I was right. Silence filled the room. Then I picked up my pen. He looked confused. I signed the partnership agreement, not because he deserved forgiveness, not because I had forgotten what happened, but because dozens of innocent employees still worked for that company. They didn't deserve to lose their jobs because of one terrible decision. I slid the signed contract across the table. Before he stood up, I said one final thing. A real leader never fires a loyal employee without giving them the chance to be heard. His eyes filled with tears. He quietly thanked me. Then he walked out of my office. As the door closed behind him, I leaned back in my chair and looked out over the Seattle skyline. I realized something that day. Sometimes the people who try hardest to destroy your future end up pushing you toward a future far greater than the one you originally imagined. If I had never been fired, I probably would have accepted that promotion and stayed comfortable. I never would have joined Nexus Media. I never would have become head of marketing. I never would have discovered how strong I truly was. The worst day of my life became the reason I found the best chapter of my life. So if you're going through something unfair right now, if someone has betrayed you, lied about you, or closed a door you worked so hard to open, don't assume your story is over. Sometimes life removes you from one place because something far greater is waiting somewhere else. And one day, you'll look back just like I do now, smile, and realize that what once felt like the end was actually the beginning of everything. Before you go, if this story touched your heart or reminded you that setbacks can sometimes become the biggest blessings in disguise, please take a second to hit the like us button. It really helps the channel reach more people. And if you enjoy emotional real-life stories about resilience, betrayal, and inspiring comebacks, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thank you so much for watching.